Then I have to ask you, Lucky, have you ever cheated?
Mm,
Who tells it better? Let's ask.
I think you should tell it.
Okay.
I think if you date someone who's in that space, you always need to calm yourself down. Ukuthi there's people with intentions, and if I figure I'm haga and they give him a kiss on the cheek and then they look at you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. They do say love is blind. They also say love is patient. They say love is kind. Love can be anything because in love is different people and it doesn't always have the same ending. So in today's episode, we are talking about love, and I've got Lucky and Refiloe joining me really just to talk about what love means to them as a couple. Refiloe, thank you so much for agreeing that you and your husband join me on the hot seat with Penzola. I am intentional by starting with her because it is ladies first.
absolutely.
Welcome,
Yes.
Lucky. Thank you for agreeing to the wife that you guys come and share the space with me.
Only a pleasure.
It's only a pleasure.
Let's start from the beginning, guys. Who likes
Yeah.
to tell the story of where you guys met?
I tell it better.
You tell it better.
I tell
But
it
who
better all
always
the
tells it
time.
in any case?
I think it's me. More than him, because I tell it better. That's all.
Your nose is growing.
Wow.
Should tell the truth.
Pinocchio. Pinocchio.
But anyway,
Yeah, so can I ask you
it's
to please...
contested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, for the purpose of moving forward, please
Yeah.
tell us, how did you guys meet?
Well, Lucky and I have always known each other. We grew up in church together, but there was no interest. He's always been that boy that was just irritating. So, fast forwarding to when we now met at Penzola, Komaponya Mall,
And when was this?
2008. Yeah, 2008. And I was with my friends, partying, and then he walked in with his brother and his friend.
Partying and churching at the same time.
No, but that was
Yeah.
after church, like,
Yeah.
asiko fast manje
Yeah.
sontweni,
Semkhulile.
sesikhulile
Yeah.
manje,
Yeah.
uye sontweni mawufuna,
Yeah,
mawungafuni umzali angeke azakufoste. So then I saw them, I was like, hey, I know these guys, But then more than anything, I was like, okay, my night is ruined, because the brother has always been the big brother.
Yes,
Ukuthi,
yes.
hey, when accept sugu hamba nabo bang,
Yeah.
don't do that, So when my friends and I were now leaving, because they were standing by the door, and I just went up to them, hi guys, you're being a lele, and I was like, no, I'm leaving now, so you don't have to worry. That was me shutting up the brother, and he then said, Ubutao Siga, uyenzani medium, and I'm looking at this guy, I'm like, he made it, like, really?
And Jordan's.
Astrolly, like,
Yeah.
out of the blue.
So he made it?
Saying he made it,
Not even a girlfriend.
No, he made
Wow.
it, claro.
Wow.
I was like, no,
Yeah.
But then we exchanged numbers,
Okay.
and then we started talking after that. And then third day, that's when we went out on a date. And
Who paid? Okay, just checking.
he had to. He asked for it, right?
Well done, Lucky. Yeah.
So then, from then on, I think on that day, I think everything was sealed. Like, Amazula vela vuma.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Avela vuma, because even the conversation, you'd swear, Uguti, we've always known each other. Like, we've had conversations before. I felt comfortable with him, and I didn't have to cover up and be somebody else. Like, first time date, and you just have to be put up this. I didn't have to do that with him. It was so simple. It was so comfortable.
Is that how it went?
Yeah, no, it is. She might have omitted a few things, but
Like,
Okay.
yeah, like what did you omit?
I was charming.
Oh.
Said all the right things. Stuff like that doesn't matter, but it's okay.
And that's the stuff that made her feel comfortable.
You know?
You right? Yeah.
But
no.
I guess.
It's all forgiven.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think, I mean, like she said, we sort of knew each other from afar, so it's a person.
Correct.
She didn't quite like me. It's fine back then, but I guess when we met that night, it was sort of catching up on, the faces were there. We knew each other, but we almost needed to then start saying, okay, so who is this person? Can we gel? Can we? And surprisingly enough, I mean, we almost liked the same things. I say almost because it's never a perfect.
Correct.
Yes. There's one or two things here and there that I do and piss her off. Same with me, but generally we like the same things. I mean, at the time, I was very big on DJing. I mean, all over Soweto, doing my thing there.
I can imagine what comes with that.
Yeah, she was, also in almost the same circle of people. When we go out, we almost have the same sort of combination of friends and people we know. Otherwise, it's almost like, if you've ever been in a situation where you're with someone now and they tell you about being at a place that you were at, but you never bumped into each other. Like someone says, yeah, I was actually there, but how did I not notice you? How did we not talk? Why now? And not there.
Not there. Yes,
so it was one of those. It was an exciting time. I mean, we had good things.
So I want to touch on this DJing thing. Like, yeah. You are big on DJing.
I see where it's going.
You see where it's going. All over Soweto.
Yeah.
And I mean, there is that stigma around certain careers, right? That
absolutely,
as a DJ, you are there. You are the life of the party. And if you shine number, abantwana bayajiva, abanye bayeza bazo-requesta, like they're coming close. Yeah, how was that? And maybe not ask you. I'm sure you really enjoyed the attention. Refiloe, what was that like for you? This guy, you like him, and he's just like the center.
If I can tell you, Penny. Okay, so the first time, when we started the relationship, he had to explain to me, a lot of things. But I know a lot of people, and it's ladies and so forth. And it's like, no, it's fine as long as you're not doing anything. But you must remember, to say, okay, but they must not mess with me, in all of that. But yes, it was stressful, because Lepatin, he's playing, and then these girls want to come, they want to hug him, others want to kiss him, and then they look at you, how are you responding? Are you looking?
I'm sure he's looking at you
reacting?
Too.
Yeah, no, he's looking as well, and he's trying to, keep it at a distance. And I think if you date someone who's in that space, you always need to calm yourself down. There's people with intentions, and if I figure where I'm haga and they give him a kiss on the cheek, and then they look at you. It's like, okay, no, I'm not interested, like, shalala, it's fine, And you'd find others, they would take his numbers, but no, I need to hire you, this and that. But then they don't want to hire him. But
they don't want to hire him necessarily for the music.
No, not for the
sure.
music. They want the boyfriend part. And the boyfriend part is taken. I'm here.
You have to tell him for something
like,
else.
It ain't happening. Like, let's get that, it's not
Yes.
happening. So you really need to have that thick skin, if I may say. You need to know your story. You need to know where you stand together. And transparency. Like, be transparent with each other. So you're like, oh, what happened? Nazo, zasuga, and things happen, But challenge okay, utegi me. Let me stick to what he said, instead of but yeah.
DJs are DJs, right? So
DJs are DJs.
Let's move on to the next question. What would you say is were the challenges, like the biggest challenges in the relationship?
Look, to be honest,
for you, this particular relationship,
so for us, like, you leave it there, you deal with what you have at home. But I think for us,
Dintho tsa ko strateng what are those?
no, I mean like with the girls, trying to, getting him,
Was he responding? Let's put you on the spot, guy. Like, were you responding?
I was about to.
Because it can't be just the girls, eh? It can't be just the
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah, true.
You are part of it. Did
Yeah.
you respond, and why did you respond?
No. So, I think we wouldn't be doing justice to the story if like we like sort of stick to the girls part of it because she's telling it, but I feel like it's something she knew, that obviously in that industry when you are doing that, a lot of people, you're always around a lot of people, so it was one of those things that we had to deal with. She had to deal with mostly, not me. But I at no point would put her in a position where she feels as though she's not number one in my life, but because the situations around parties and whatnot, like she was saying, you're sitting there, you're playing, someone comes and gives you a hug, obviously she's gonna find something absolutely wrong with that, but I mean we managed it,
Yeah, we
to a
tried.
fair extent.
To an extent. That's why I was saying, Guti, dintho tsa ko strateng, like I wouldn't entertain them much, though they were annoying, But there were more things that, answering your question, Uguti, what was, something that really brought us into, disrupt or anything. And that was the moment in our life when that happened. I think everything just went wrong,
What happened? We can't say that.
You
What
want me to
happened?
tell it?
Who tells it better? Let's ask.
I think we should tell it.
Okay.
Maybe before I get to that, just a bit of background with us. So we obviously started off 2008, all great, new love, fresh,
Yeah.
going strong,
Yeah.
with the challenges she was talking about. But obviously those were like occupational challenges,
For sure.
type of things,
For
you
sure.
know. They did give us challenges to an extent where she'd be like, yeah, I'm done with you, and I'd be like, yeah, Nami, you know what, I'll be fine, I don't need you, you were there, you're not there, you're fine, I was okay before you were there, and then 2 weeks down the line, you're like, ish, I miss my person. And then you go there, you park outside, and you're like, ish, please, ngiyacela, come out, let's talk, please,
Yeah.
I can explain, all of that stuff.
Is this when they were just throwing themselves at you, or when you actually responded to some of them?
No.
You- okay.
It's I don't want to call it how it was perceived, right? But in most cases, and we always talk about this, by the way, that we had a relationship with each other, and then at some point we had other people, in the relationship as well, which is, other external people like friends and people So she would go somewhere and meet with someone, and that person would say, you know what, I saw Lucky at a certain place with so and so. They looked a bit cozy, only to find maybe I was with probably a cousin or a sister, but that person has no context around who the person is, but they speak to her, and then she'll act on it, right? She'll come to me and say, what happened, and all of that, and we'd end up fighting. The usual response would be, okay, so what did the person say? Why did you believe them? Why
Okay,
don't you ask me?
tell me something. Has that situation ever happened the other way around, where they'd come to you and say they saw her with another guy, they look cozy? So then I have to ask you, Lucky, have you ever cheated?
I'm thinking, and the reason why I'm thinking she knows why, right? Because when we met, I was actually dating someone else.
Oh, okay. So
But-
you did cheat
But
at
in-
the time.
But in her defense,
Yeah.
she found out a bit later, afterwards. I was upfront, but you're not lying, you omit, right? So
It was the omission.
yeah.
Yeah.
So technically, yes. you know,
So you have. That's
technically, it's a technicality.
And
so.
but you've never cheated in this relationship.
No. I
Okay.
haven't. Look, we had we had challenges. I think if I don't know if you want to tell it, but I mean we probably have broken up.
So many times. So many times.
Yeah, like
long breaks.
Number of reasons, you know.
Yeah.
And in between the breaks, you then start seeing other people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did saw other people. Thought we were moving on, right? Big thought because
Yeah.
just didn't happen. We're here now. But yeah, I mean, we saw other people. I think the biggest, you know, when they say the straw that broke the camel's back, that's the right saying, right?
Yeah.
I think the straw that broke the camel's back, it sounds like a tongue twister, is in 2017 when I lost my brother. I mean, it was a very, very low point, you know, in my life. Hers too, right? Because like she said, when we started dating, 2008 was not the beginning. She was already part of the family. I mean, my sister was one of those staunch Christians. You know, I'm talking about those ones where they bring them home at night after, what do they call those things?
Whole night prayer.
I'm a whole night prayer, like singing, you know, speaking in tongues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister's gonna kill me for this. But I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, you know. So she had a house, a shower, right, not far from, you know,
Church.
the house where we grew up and the church.
Yeah.
So my sister was almost like the big sister of everybody.
Like the Sunday school teacher side.
Yeah, you know, so she would cook like huge meals every Sunday in the afternoon, and you know, Refiloe and a whole lot of other people from church would come and chow and eat. So me, I'm the brother, you know. By the time I wasn't even going to church all the time. So when they're in church and the pots are there, I would go there, eat.
Finish everything.
They come back, so we always had those interactions, you know, with each other. But again, from, you know, not from a point of, I'd really like to know this person as more than someone I know, you know. And so she's always been entrenched in the family. When we started dating, it was almost a given. I mean, my brother treated her like, you know, a sibling, you know. So when my brother passed away, she also lost, you know, a part. So knowing that, not to say it's a lot more difficult for me, knowing that it's almost equally the same, she was there to almost play that rock for me at a very difficult time, you know. I mean, I think I got to a point where I could not, you know, see past something that's like just here, you know. Everything was, this is here now, let's do it. You know, our last and final break.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was actually going to go there to say, what was that final break that at that point when you broke up? You say you broke up a lot of times, but at the time when you say you broke up, you know, like, I'm done, I'm moving on.
Yes.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Yeah.
I think it was that point whereby I think, as you said, you know, both of us were just carrying this, you know, we didn't know how to deal with it. We didn't know how to move from it, you know, because, I mean, it was just too much to take, you know. And I think on that as well, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. So on that, for us, we didn't know how to move forward, you know, with everything that was going on. And I think for me, especially, it was, you know what, I'm done, you know, I'm not going back.
Yeah, I think big part of it was trust. Anything seemed believable, in essence. So if and I'll be honest, right? Majority of the issues came from my side because I had to almost deal with that situation I was dealing with in my own way, and I didn't know how because it's something that I wouldn't have dealt with before. So it was a new thing. You know, when you stay away from home, you're not at home, you're out, you come back and you think, ish, I'm gonna get home. Refiloe is gonna, hey, you know, I heard these things. That means it must be true. Where are you coming from this late? Only to find that maybe, you know, I was just sitting at home and feeling crushed, you know, and I was like, you know what, I need an escape. I need to, you know, be outside of this situation. So I almost, at that time, attached a lot of the things that were going wrong to our relationship, unfairly so, right? Because it ended up adding a lot of strain, and as a result, that is why it became almost that final break, right? Because if you were to ask me or Refiloe at that point, I don't remember the exact date or the exact day when we almost said, you know what, this is it.
It's over.
You know, we're done. We're not coming back to this. We're moving on. And at the time, we've got a awesome, you know, daughter. Wants both of us there, you know. And for her, she doesn't understand that. You know, she's like, yeah, well, mom and dad are cool. You know, yes, they have, you know, they challenges here and there, but they're cool. You know. So we did. I mean, we cut ties. We were like, you know what, we'll co-parent, which we did actually very well. You know, we raised an amazing. Still raising an amazing.
She's still there. That daughter.
Yeah, lifetime.
She's still there.
Yeah, so you know, we co-parented exceptionally well. I think partly because we had a friendship. In our relationship, which is what has kept us for as long as we've stayed together. I mean, we've had challenges thrown at us. And through all of those challenges, we always managed to find ourselves back to each other somehow. No matter how nice the other side looks, you know, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I mean, after that, we co-parented. It was about, what, a year and a half?
So did you both move on
More
with
than
other
that.
people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, moved on.
And
you know.
how did that feel? Like, what was the integration of now this blended family, sort of? Because your daughter, you're co-parenting well, but you've moved on. How did you guys facilitate that? Did you sit together to tell your daughter that you guys are separating? How did that work?
Well, on my side, I didn't, because at that moment, I felt that he had to do it. You know, he made the call, so he needs to sit down with her and tell her. And I remember when he phoned me, he's like, so we need to make time and speak Nolelo, you know, and just explain to her. And I said to him, no, I'm not going to say anything. You come, you speak to her, you tell her what's going on, you know. So for me, it was, I'm not going to say anything because I didn't want this to be over, but it's over, you know. I guess at that point as well, I just didn't want to let go. And yet I knew, Wuti, it's not working, you know. And from then on, I think the best thing I did on my side was to, even when I was seeing somebody else, I tried by all means not to introduce her to that person until I was sure, you know, Wuti, this is the person. And it didn't matter. Like, you know, sometimes guys would be like, no, I have to meet your daughter. I bought her something. And be like, no, hold on. Just stop sign. Just stop sign.
Yeah.
When we get to that, just stop sign. You just focus on me. I'll tell you when the time is right, you know. And it took a while, because even so, I think it was only once whereby that person met her, you know. And my daughter, you know, with all the, Mom, what's going on? Who's this? You know, how are we going to deal with this? You know? And I said, no, this is just mommy's friend. You know, nothing attached to it, nothing more. And I think for me, I just didn't want to explain much, and because I wasn't even sure where the relationship was going, I didn't want to put myself in a situation whereby I had to explain that, okay, now mommy is not with Jonas, you know, now she's with Joseph. Joseph is, I didn't want that. You know, I just wanted her to know whoever that I'm going to be with, that's someone that I'm sure of, and I see where the relationship is going. So I just made it a point. Uguti, she's not going to meet anyone, and that's where it is.
Wena? Yeah, I'm introduced as well. Who says there? Just asking.
Yeah, look. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. I think on my side, introduced her. I think about a year. Was it a year? I think a year or 2 years after. I had like my youngest daughter that I've got now with the person I was with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was. I think Refiloe was an absolute star, like in terms of the whole co-parenting situation. Despite everything, right? Looking at it now, I ask myself if I would have had the courage to do that.
And the wisdom.
And the wisdom, right? I don't think I would have. You know, and that's part of the reason why she's literally like the light of my life. You know, right now.
Flash
I
again.
You know, it's
Yeah.
and I think it goes beyond just you know, the resilience that she's got and the courage, but it's how through very little things she was even able to reintroduce me to God.
Wow.
I pray with her every morning, every night. Sometimes we forget, but we don't forget because we forget. I think life happens, things get busy. Whenever we take our daughter to school, we've got this, you know, thing that we do. I think probably like 2 minutes away from the school, we start praying, and just before we drop her off, you know. So it's almost like a daily routine, right? So I really value this lady right here.
Wow. Look at how you look at it. And your daughter, I'm sure she's very happy that you guys are back together.
No, she is happy. I think the first time when I broke the news to her, so how I went about it after we had decided that, you know, we're going to give it another try. I picked it up from school and we went to a mall, and I was like, okay, I really need to have a talk with her to see, you know, where she is, you know, mentally. And I just started the conversation, you know, with her that, okay, Nana, what do you think about this? You know, you see now, mommy and daddy are hanging out a lot. Are you comfortable with it? You know, and she's like, yeah, sure, I am comfortable. And I said to her, so how would you feel if mommy and daddy lived in the same house? You know, the three of us again, we are family again, you know, together now. And she said, really? And I'm like, yeah, but only if you're happy with it. She's like, yeah, mom. I mean, let's move over to dad's house.
Yes, yeah.
You know, it
She
was that
ready to
moment.
move.
Yeah, she was
Yes,
ready to move.
Yes.
And I said to her, okay, well, we'll have to sort out a few things first, you know, because, you know, we had our own house and daddy had his own house. So daddy and I are still, you know, looking into it as to how we're going to go about it, you know, where are we moving. So because she wanted to move to daddy's house, so we ended up at daddy's house together, you know. So she was happy. She was happy. I think it also changed a lot of things because I saw a lot of change in her, you know, her behavior in the house. School, she was doing good, you know, but, you know, she'd have her own off seasons, you know. And I think the minute we came together, I think her heart just opened up, you know. She was now relaxed.
Wow.
She could be a child now. She didn't have to, you know, be nice this side and nice that side, you know, try and keep the peace between, you know how kids are.
Yes, of course, yeah.
So she was just happy, you know.
And your other daughter? How is she fitting into this picture now?
Perfectly, actually.
Yeah.
I think, fortunately, the person that I was with, I mean, we co-parent exceptionally well.
You seem to be
Maybe that's my
co-parenting.
thing.
Yeah, that's your thing. Co-parenting is your
I'm
thing.
like the co-parent, you know.
Yeah, a co-parent.
Yeah, I know, co-parenting.
Yeah,
But I mean, absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
She's amazing. You know, I think in some way, we've almost sort of gotten to a point where they all know that, you know, when I say they, you know, the two kids both know, you know, the situation that they're in. You know, mommy.
Yeah, so there's mommy and there's mama.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
you
okay,
know.
okay, okay.
So, which I think, I mean, it's, to be quite honest, I'm very fortunate to have that situation. I don't, to be quite honest, you know, regret, you know, what's happened, because what happened, you know, had to happen, right? I can't, you know, change anything. You know, my youngest daughter is like literally the most amazing. You know, she's a blessing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
absolute blessing. Rufile loves her to bits. Like, they get along like a house on fire. We were actually talking about it earlier, that you know, they've got this thing where the oldest one and her, that go into the room and then start scratching in the cupboards. I'm out drop.
Yes,
You
yes,
don't
yes.
need to say cupboard. I'm out drop.
I'm out of
Yeah. They get into a wardrobe and
Yeah.
then they take out her clothes, my clothes, play dress up,
Oh,
come
that's
and
amazing.
show us, you
That's
know, so
really good.
absolutely amazing. But obviously, I mean, you know, all of that is the end result
Yeah.
of where we find ourselves now. I mean, we started getting into it a bit earlier, but, you know, I think it's very important that the same way how people see flourishing businesses and they see you as a CEO and you're a billionaire driving Maseratis and all the fancy cars. What they don't understand is that, you know, there was a whole journey
Yeah.
to get there. I think it's absolutely important that, and I know majority of the whys around, you know, why we didn't work, why we broke up, will center around how I behaved. You know, and how I handled situations. In most cases, I actually feel like I was always catching up to her in my growth journey. You know, I grew up, she was already there. It's like, if I were to practically put it, when I was 5, she was 10. You know, when I was 10,
She was more mature.
you know what I mean?
Grandchild. Yeah.
So essentially, you know, she had the patience and the love and the resilience.
Wow.
To say, you know, I love this guy. I'm gonna stick it in. You know, he'll see the light.
Yeah.
You know?
One day.
And
He's
one
a Vuga
day,
Nepal,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
at
Lomdana
some point.
Uzokula one day.
Uzokula.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, she might not be telling, you know, some of the, because I mean, there were some really dark days, you know, extremely dark days, things I'm not proud of, to be honest. Ngiyazi ngizobe ngidlisa team, you know. They tell you that you must go to the grave with it, you know. What's that Shaggy song? It wasn't me.
Yeah.
You know.
That's why I asked you that question earlier.
Yeah.
Which, it's fine if you're gonna ungadlisi team.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think the reason why Nisho Lanjalo is I have made, you know, decisions in our relationship that we're not taking her into account and her feelings through reacting to certain things. You know, like, I know she values the fact that she wants that family setup where we always have to be together. We need to share everything. We need to speak. And then I go and disappear, for example.
Yeah.
You know, for you know, the whole night.
Yeah.
Come back in the morning. Absolutely no phone call, no explanation. Where I was.
Phone off.
You know,
Yeah.
the phone is off. It's
That's terrible.
You know,
Yeah.
silly little things like that. That, you know, as you know, time goes and you look back at them and you think, yeah, you know what.
Maybe not a wise idea. But anyway,
Yeah.
I actually have a question which speaks to the time that you've you guys had broken up. I mean, that especially that last breakup where you both felt it was bona.
That's it.
Yeah,
It's a season finale.
Yeah.
Asabui, Siraiti, you moved on. You had a beautiful daughter. You were happy. But how did I mean, I'm asking this for both of you. How did it feel knowing that this guy is now sleeping with someone else, and now that you're here together, right? Lucky. I mean, they do say men have egos, right?
She just squeezed my hand.
She just squeezed your hand.
Yeah.
They do say that men have egos, right? So how do you feel like knowing that this now wife of yours actually was, although it was legal, it was okay because
Yeah.
you'd broken up, but someone else has touched it. Yeah.
The reason why is the reason why. So I don't, honestly, until you asked it, it isn't something I really thought about. To be honest, I think for me, out of sight, out of mind
Neither here nor
works better. I think for the same reason why I can never hold the things that I found uncomfortable about her, which led to some of the things that happened and we broke up. That's the past. I know that she's a better person. She's grown. She's and besides pass, it's actually a twisted thing because it's one of those things. Until someone asks you about it, you don't think about it. But after they ask you about it, now you think about it. So thank you. Now
Think
I'm
about
thinking
it.
about it.
Think about it. I feel like when I asked that question, you just looked down. So clearly you have thought about it. And how did that feel?
Look,
So it's like
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
So it didn't sit well, to be honest. You know when you know deep down,
Yeah.
ukuthi, that wasn't the end.
Yeah.
You may have said, ukuthi, it's the end.
Phelile.
Angisafuni next. Angifuni ukumbona. I don't want to hear anything. Like he must just continue with whatever. Like no, kishapo kaye. But deep down, I knew it. It's not over. It's not over. And the thought of him being with someone else, it killed me. It killed me.
Yeah.
I mean, there'd be times whereby I would just sit and think, would be doing this now. And I'm like, but why is he doing that? Like, when's another like, because I feel as though I knew him, and I knew somehow this might not end well for him where he is. But then I also had this thing of energy, as in you just don't want to let go. You
you're
understand?
jealous.
Yeah, I'm jealous or something, and all of that. But to be honest, that feeling killed me because I thought of what they were doing. It's stuff that we used to do together, having fun together, like the little things that we used to do, chilling together and just doing,
Now he's doing them with someone else.
Now he's doing them with somebody
Yeah.
else. And the worst part, like obvious.
Yeah, but
like why? Kanjani?
It's a trap. It's a trap. Don't go there.
Yo,
And
like
did you ever think ukuthi if decide ukubuya bongacabanga ukuthi uzovuma or angeke uvume?
bengekho sure, to be honest, because I think besengizwe ubuhlungu kakhulu, to think ukuthi sekuzokunomntwana.
Ish.
I don't want to break that cycle for that child, because my child has already gone through it, not having the dad around. And I didn't think of it that deep, but because, and as well, judging from where I come from, I grew up without my biological father, and there was somebody else with my father. There was another family with my father, and I didn't want the same thing to happen to my daughter. But now it happened to my daughter, and now there is another child, and I was like, okay, Maseguso, that door is closed. Angeke
Sabuyelana.
Yeah, angeke sabuyelana, So this is it for me. I may as well, but deep down, I'm not gonna. Deep down, I felt it. I had that thing which somehow, this is not how the story ends. This is not how the story ends.
So on a lighter note, guys, do you guys celebrate Valentine's Day? What does it mean to you? And if you do, what do you do?
We don't.
Nope.
We've never celebrated Valentine's Day,
No.
to be honest. We have never.
So what do you guys do to celebrate yourselves? To celebrate the love, you know, to keep the fire burning. Ngoba phela, you know?
You have to.
That's why people
No.
go to church. Bayavuselela. Yabo,
Exactly.
kumele kuvuselele.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. So what do you guys do for that?
Sure. So with us, it would be okay. Mina, I'm not big on huge things. You know, I like little things that would satisfy me, would make me comfortable. So I would enjoy that alone time together. Sichile, we braai. If not, we go out for dinner, whatever, or we go out partying. But for us both, you know, uhlala endlini and just listen to, like, have a party together. That's like best moments for me. You know, I think as well, him knowing ukuthi uRefiloe umuntu onjani, the little things that he does for me that I appreciate so much, because for me it comes from the heart. He's not trying to impress anyone but me. You know, him coming back from the shop bringing me that chocolate. It's amazing for me. It's like I scream like a baby. And you know, at times he looks at me like, it's just a chocolate.
It's just a chocolate.
You know, and I'm
Yeah.
like, no, but you don't understand. Like, to me, it's everything, you know. So I wouldn't say we celebrate every day, but it's those moments that, you know, just out of the blue, they just happen. Like when he comes back from home, if he was working from the office, and he's on some, let's go out. You know, for me, that's everything.
Or we host our own party.
Yeah. I was about to ask, what kind of, there's different kind of parties. Like there's one where he's DJing.
Yes.
I mean the real music. Or there's other parties. Like which parties do you
All
guys
of
throw
them.
together?
All of them.
Okay.
All of them.
Party
Including
for
the
two.
dessert party.
Yes.
Some of them don't include children.
Okay.
We have to send them away.
Of course.
They must
Yeah.
go to Coco.
Yes, let's go to Coco.
But yeah, I think just enjoying each other's company.
Yeah, man.
I think in the beginning I did say we liked almost the same things. I grew to become somebody who likes being at home. Yes, you'll go out every now and then. So we almost created this environment where we are able to do the things. we
Awusa
want to do
disappear
no
manje.
matter what.
Ungasafona amafona off.
iPhone ihlali la.
Oh, okay.
Unepin. Uyayivula,
Uyayivula,
ungafuna yeah, it would nothing to hide.
You got
know.
nothing to hide.
Yeah,
That's good.
I think I'm at a point now in my life where not to say ukuthi every single thing that has happened is behind me, and it will never happen again or something like that, but I understand the consequences of
Your actions.
all the actions. So if I am to do it again, I know exactly what's going to happen, right? So
Good. And you're not gonna beg for forgiveness.
so to make 100% sure that there isn't a situation near Pumangena, right? I mean, me and Refiloe have never been marriage people, to be quite honest. We've always believed in the fact that you don't really need a piece of paper to tell you that you belong together and all of that. But I mean, we took the step and we said, you know what? Nami ngasho ukuthi angithi ekhaya bathi maso uyothatha umfazi usuyindoda manje. At first it didn't make sense, this thing, but now I get it, right? You will not have a lot of ex-wives, but you'll have a lot of ex-girlfriends. So I think marriage as an institution has a lot more to do than just the paper. The commitment is a lot more than just what you put on paper, but it's to say that hlanganisa amakhaya we're bringing two families together, not party.
Yes, yeah.
But
building a relationship.
where it's specifically around the union of two people. And obviously makumele kwenziwe hayi nawe soyandina ihamba.
It's complicated.
It's a lot more complicated. It was very easy for us to go in and out because it
Never
was
back and
like,
forth when we're
Yeah.
yeah, it was like, okay, take my
Bye-bye.
bags, sure, peace and so forth. So kuluma ngayo, right? It's, you know, but now it's different, right?
Yeah,
I address her as my wife, even though we still have to do, you know, the whole ceremony and
Yes,
whatnot.
yes. But I mean,
Shamalobolo.
the
Yeah,
steps
you
have
know,
been taken.
You know, I address her as my wife. It's out there. It's in the universe. If somebody, you know, bumps
I even
into me,
you even post on WhatsApp.
you know what? He made,
Instagram made.
you know,
Ile made ile waiting 2008 he made.
You may.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
got you. Okay, guys, listen. We can go on for days about love. I mean, I'm a firm believer of the institution. So I really am enjoying this conversation. I do have one last question before we wrap up.
Yeah.
What boundaries have you set in this relationship? Boundaries towards friends, boundaries towards family, because you mentioned something interesting earlier that your relationship at the time had a lot of people. There were friends, there was family. There were, so what space are you giving these people? Where are the lines that we've drawn?
Yeah, I think more than anything, we have learned to keep third parties away. You know, this is about us, and it ends with us. So if kukhona into that I do not understand, or if somebody tells me something, I don't have to take what they're saying. I need to see it, you know, for me. And if I ask him about it, you know, if to that extent, if I ask him about it, I need to take his word. I need to trust him enough to know he's not going to do the same mistake, or he's not going to do that. So keeping away third parties from our relationship has really helped us a lot, because now we are able to navigate into our marriage, you know, our relationship together, our friendship, you know, and I think as well, teaching people how, you know, our friends, how to treat us together. They need to understand he is my husband, you know, I'm his wife. We are always together regardless, you know. They need to understand that, and they need to respect him as well, you know, and the same respect they show me, it needs to be given to him. And that's mostly it, you know.
Sounds like a plan there, solid one, hey? Yeah.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of you.
Just the two of us.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming to share your love story with us. It's a personal story, but you felt, you know, comfortable to share it with me. I really, really hope that you are blessed with many more years together, many more kids, and yeah, and continue on this love journey. Love is different for everyone. It has certainly been good to you guys, despite the challenges, and you still found yourselves together. So good luck with everything else. I hope Hot Seat is invited to the wedding when you guys decide to do the ceremony.
Yes.
And I will not be interviewing anyone on that day. I'll just be having fun at the wedding like
Please
everybody
do.
else, okay? And there you have it, guys. Love is different for everyone. And I think certainly for this couple today, love is still a big part of their lives. Really hope you enjoyed this episode, and you know, you feel revived to try and give love a chance, you know, if you're single out there. But yeah, it's been great. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Please do ask the couple of questions. If you have a question for them, I'll definitely make sure that they answer your question. It's been a real thing. We out. Cheers to the lovely couple.
Cheers.
There we go.
Yes.
Welcome back to Hot Seat with Penzola. Okay, let's start again. And it certainly has shown you guys, yeah. It's a real thing. We out. Cheers. Oh, let's cheers, guys.
Oh,
Cheers to the lovely couple.
cheers.
There we go.
Cheers.